Let's talk about the Karens. Let's deal with those irate people.
As the sun goes.
What's up, my security family? Hope you're having a good night. Today's video is going to be more for the entry-level security guards, although it may apply to everybody, just as a refresher. And I'm going to talk about how to deal with an irate person. And so first of all, an irate person, somebody who is would, I guess in modern days, be considered a Karen. And they can be quite difficult to talk to. They want to demand a supervisor. And in my past jobs, I've had jobs as a call center manager. I worked for AT&T Wireless many years ago. I was in a call center. I was a manager, and so I was the one who came on the phone when somebody demanded to speak to a manager. And prior to becoming a manager, I learned some really good de-escalation techniques to avoid my calls as a customer service rep from going to a manager. I was able to deflect those and actually resolve their issues without having to involve a manager. And so I carried those skills over into my management position. I started teaching my reps how to avoid escalating those calls up to management. So first things first, with an irate person or dealing with a Karen, first thing you got to do is listen. Absolutely 100% important. Listen. And then listen some more. Let them talk. Let them somewhat tire themselves out. While you're listening, it's good to practice affirmative listening. As one term I've heard it called. There's different terms, but essentially repeat back what they're saying. So when they take a breath, so let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You are telling me that, and then you repeat what they said, or you can summarize it, and then and that just confirms to them that you are actually listening, which tends to already start the de-escalation process. It already starts to calm them down because they're so used to people not listening. So you've already got one foot in the door. Now, once you've got that foot in the door, try to relocate the conversation to somewhere a little less public, a little less in the way. Many times these Karens will start their scene in a very public venue because they want the attention. They want people to see what's going on. So they will start their drama fest in a very public, high visibility area. A lot of times it's in the way, and it just creates a very uncomfortable situation for a lot of other people, the bystanders, innocent people, what have you. So, tell them, hey, do you mind if we move over here and get out of the way? Let's mind if we come over here and talk. And removing them from that environment also puts them at a disadvantage because now they are no longer in their comfort zone. They are a little more private. Although it is important to make sure that you do have some accountability on your part because you don't want them saying anything false about you. So you want to have some witnesses, but you want to minimize the impact. So have them come off to the side a little bit, out of the way. And then as I spoke about in the last video with psychosis and leap, at this point you're basically empathizing with them, and then you are agreeing on some common ground and partnering with them in some form that you both can agree on and get a direction, get a resolution and a direction to go. And so at this time, the LEAP model that I spoke about in my last video applies to dealing with Karens and irate people. And it's quite possible that someone who acts that way is dealing with some sort of a behavioral problem or possibly a mental health issue. and it may be very subtle, but it manifests in this way, and that's why they're considered to be a Karen type or an irate person. So the LEAP model definitely works with dealing with people like this, where they are just completely unreasonable. There is hope. You can deal with people like this, and with security, it's especially important. We have to be masters at de-escalation. We have to be masters at verbal judo and mental psychological warfare, because we don't have we don't have any other options beyond that. Even as an armed guard, we just don't have the options of using any other force. So we have to be really good at de-escalation. And I think that's one thing that's a little bit different from law enforcement, is that it seems like law enforcement, they're able to use a firearm during an arrest, whereas security cannot. Now, the big debate is whether or not a firearm should have been drawn in the first place. That's not a topic for this channel necessarily. I'm in 100% support of our police officers. Of course, if a police officer's in the wrong, he's in the wrong, and he's going to have to answer to a court for that. And that's not for us to judge. That's for the court. That's for the courts to decide. But I'm in 100% support of our police officers, and that's not what this channel's about. So. For security, it's absolutely 100% important that we are able to de-escalate effectively. And so, using this LEAP model with a Karen is effective most of the time, and you can avoid having to get a supervisor or manager involved. It's just a good step, good practice. I'd like to hear what you guys have dealt with as far as irate people or your Karen stories. If you've dealt with some Karens, definitely leave some comments. Tell me about it. Have a good night, guys. I'll catch you later. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like, comment, and share. Thank you much.